A little while ago we did a video where I played the drums and we recorded them and put them on YouTube and talked about that in the future we would do a video talking about how we make the drum kit, and this is that video. Now this video isn't really intended to be like a tutorial on how to mic your drum kit because we do it a little bit differently than other people. For example, we use somewhat unusual microphones for the snare drum and the other drums that other people wouldn't use. But we get really good sound in our opinion, and so we just wanted to talk about what we do. So let's get into that. So here we are looking at the snare drum, and as you can see we have a microphone that is right here. One thing that I want to talk about is these little microphone clips, and these are very commonly used, but we have just started using them before we hadn't used them before. They're very inexpensive and they work really well. I really like them because they're really compact, there's no annoying stands that are taking up a whole bunch of space. The microphone is just right here and it's awesome and I really like it. Now the microphone that we are using here is not the typical microphone that you would use for a snare drum or even your toms and the floor tom. This is a Shure KSM 109, but many people will tell you, and even if you read like books about recording instruments, they will tell you that many people like to use the Shure SM57s for this. Now what's kind of cool about the KSM 109s is that when it came out several years ago, first of all it was marketed as being an instrument microphone as well as a drum microphone. So we bought one to use on a small drum and we really liked the sound of it, so now we have a whole bunch. When they first came out and they were new, they were roughly around $400, but you can actually pick them up used for around $100. And they're very cool mics and they have some really neat features. Since then they've been discontinued and there is a newer model that has some additional features. This one you can cut the gain by 15 dB, while on the newer model you can cut it by an additional 10 dB, which will bring you down to negative 25 dB. But overall, we haven't had any problems with using these microphones, and they're really awesome, and I think they sound really good. They really captured the musical tones of the drums, and they sound awesome. We also use these mics for our two overheads, which are up here as well, and I think those sound really good too. Here you can have a little better view of the clips, and as you can see, they're pretty inexpensive. I believe that they're actually from China, but they still work really good. They're made of like a nice quality plastic and they feel really, really nice. What's also kind of cool is there's a little clip on the back that you can route the cable through to kind of help keep it a little nicer, otherwise it would be dangling on the floor and it wouldn't be very good. But they're really cool, they're really compact. Like I said before we started using these, we had all these mic stands that were sticking out beyond the drum set, and I was tripping over them and they were falling over and knocking my cymbals over. It was just a disaster. But now that those are gone, these clips have replaced them and they're really, really awesome. You can adjust the height of the clips and you can also just slide the microphone in and out to get it closer and farther away. You can adjust the tilt angle really easily, so if you want to have a different sound, just move it like that and there you have a different sound. It's really, really awesome. The setup that we use for the overhead mics is this boom setup here, and it's really, really awesome for a number of reasons. It's made by a company called Onstage Stand. I'm sure you've heard of them. They're very popular. And as a general rule, they make, relatively entry-level stuff, and we were, happy with what they make, but this is a whole nother level of quality. It's got this really heavy-duty bass down here. It's like solid metal. It's not going anywhere. The whole thing is just really nice. There's a big counterweight up here. It's got these nice big knobs. They're super. I'm gonna come over here. There's this nice big knobs that you just loosen them up, and then you can lower the whole thing down, and it's pretty cool. It's, as you can see, it's pretty easy to do, and it's pretty sweet now. I just lowered the whole overhead by a few inches to make the right-hand side of the drum set a whole bunch louder, so that's really convenient to do. And it's just really nice quality. We were originally going to buy vintage Atlas mic booms, but we picked up one of these first because they're only like $180 new or somewhere around there, and which is really, really surprisingly inexpensive for how quality these are. I really like them. And another thing I like about them is the way we have them set up here. We have the bottom and the middle post here against the wall, and then it comes up and over and you can just walk underneath of it and it's not in your way at all. Before we had like a traditional mic stand here and it was in the way. But the setup we have now is really, it's not in your way at all, and it's really nice and streamlined. Now we're down here at the bass drum, as you can see, and in this case we're a bit more textbook specific. This is a large diaphragm dynamic microphone made by Shure. It's the Beta 52A, and pretty much everyone recommends using a large diaphragm dynamic for the bass drum. So that's pretty cool. I really like how this microphone sounds. It captures a lot of like the wooden tones of my bass drum. Like when I play it, I just hear the bass of it, but when I listen to it through the microphone. I can hear all these sounds that I normally wouldn't hear, which is pretty cool. I like it. And the stand that we're using is just a little teeny tiny stand. It's pretty cool. And once again, it's really compact. It's not in the way at all. It's just here, and I really like it. And it's a really nice mic. So as a recap, we have 2 KSM 109 overheads, and then we also have 1 Shure KSM 109 on each of my drums, which means that there's an additional 4 of them, so there's a total of 6 KSM 109s, and then there's also the Shure Beta 52A for the bass drum. And as you can probably tell, since I said earlier that these microphones, the KSM 109s, are roughly like $100, it can be kind of expensive to mic a drum kit, but it's really worth the money because it sounds really, really good. And if you're looking for that high quality sound, Shure KSM 109s are the way to go. We may end up getting the newer version, the 137 for the snare, if we realize that the 109 simply doesn't cut it. But for now, I'm pretty happy with it. I like how it sounds. I like how the whole drum set fits together, and it sounds awesome. So, hopefully you found this video helpful. If you liked it, you can go ahead and give it a like. And if you like my content, you can go ahead and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.